Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna walk through the same process. We're gonna use her as an example. And if you're not totally clear yet, watch this process as we connect dots. Okay, so we're gonna say again, real graciously, not because we don't love you and wanna hear your story, but give us 20, 30 seconds on your experience.
I was being bullied at school, and I was like 4 or 5.
This is your positive one, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
I promise it is, yeah.
Generally, we don't start positive with bullying, but we're great.
And I was crying to my dad about it, and we lived in a very specific house in Georgia, so it's very vivid in my memory. And he takes me between his knees, and he looks me in the eyes, and he goes, "The next time that boy bullies you, I want you to punch him in the stomach."
Go, Dad.
He was a cop in a past life.
Yes.
So I think from that, yeah, it was...
Great. So tell us, what did your interpretation mean? What did you make it mean?
It's not okay for me to get bullied, and it's more than okay for me to stand up for myself.
Okay. So here's what I want you to do. Do you guys remember the every thought creates an emotion, every emotion creates an action, right? The cognitive behavioral therapy. So what I want you to do is I want you to ask yourself, okay, in this moment, what are the emotions that you felt? How did you feel? After Dad says that, what did it release in you? What were some of the emotions?
I felt safe.
Safe?
Yeah.
Great.
Like he was backing me up.
Okay, I'm backed up. What else? Give me some other words that would describe the emotion that you felt.
Relief.
Relief.
And supported.
Great. Okay, so watch, do you even see some of these words? Some of these words, we're gonna walk you up that Maslow's hierarchy too, because what we don't want is we don't wanna build a revelation from a place of just safety, security, stability. So, but did you hear she said safe? We said, okay, what else did you feel? Then she said, I felt secure, relief, supported. Do you feel how you can even feel the words go up? Great, so start there. I'm not saying that but you don't generally, I'm gonna encourage you. We don't want words like safe or secure in your vision. Why? Because from heaven, I already am. Remember, from heaven's perspective, I already am. So I know sometimes you don't feel safe and secure today, but we're not asking you about today. We're asking you about the revelation that was given to you that you need to walk into and partner with despite how you feel. Remember, I have feelings, I'm not my feelings. Okay, so if you have some of those words, keep going, higher. Higher. Remember, last night we wanted you to go deeper. Go deeper. Now I want you to go higher. Okay, so we're gonna keep going. You felt safe, relieved, supported. Give me one more.
I guess joy. Yeah.
You see what she just went from safe, relieved, supported, joy. Is joy a normal emotion for you?
Not always.
I know. You guys, she's also a 5 on the Enneagram, which her and I are like sisters from another mister kind of thing. If you've taken the Enneagram and you haven't, come chat with us. Yeah, joy is not, how many of you love the idea of joy, but you don't feel joy? That was my story too. I understood the concept of joy, but I had never felt joy. Why? Because it didn't feel safe to me. Here's where this starts to be interlinked. My limiting belief actually was developed in the same moment as my vision, because I was playing Barbies with my dad, feeling joy, then that thing was ripped out from underneath me. So guess what I said? Never again. I will never trust joy. I will never play. I will never create. Do you know that my vision is to create uninhibitedly? So interesting that the one thing that God says, I'm gonna actually put a mantle on her to create uninhibitedly and to set people free, is exactly where the enemy went, not if I have my way, and he yanked the rug out from underneath me. This is how this works. You watch. Here's what's also hysterical and not ironic, is that your vision will be the complete opposite of your limiting belief. You cannot make this up. So she says joy. Okay, great. So now we work from the main word. So get your words, safe, relieved, supported, joy. Go to that top word and go, great. Now the brain's going, joy, love this, dig this. This is not so bad. Now the brain's going, what's happening that's creating joy? Like really? So now I'm gonna ask you to go a little bit deeper again. And this little girl's gonna go, I feel joy. Why? What's happening that's allowing me to feel joy?
Connection with my dad.
Say it again.
Connection with my dad.
Great. Okay, and when you're connected with your dad, then what was the byproduct for you? How did you start to live?
Well, I did punch him in the stomach.
Yes. Pretty sure the Bible says stand firm then and punch him in the stomach.
And
Okay, so let's say punched him in the stomach was the definition of a nicer word. What did that resemble to you?
What do you mean?
So when you punch him in the stomach, like let's say it was a prophetic act.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What was the prophetic act? What was happening there? That little girl at a spirit level knew something that even the mind didn't understand, but there was something deeper that was like, oh, that's interesting.
I was empowered and safe.
Empowered. And you were empowered to what?
To not put up with somebody trying to bully me.
Okay, and so if you're no longer, make sure that you don't have a double negative, that I don't have to put up with this any longer. So if you don't have to put up with this any longer, you're empowered to what?
Yeah. Live securely, be free. Yeah.
Okay, great. You want your vision. I'm going to write it down first so I don't mess it up. Okay, so I'm going to give her the words that I heard, but you have to go and massage this with the Holy Spirit. This is also what's going to happen today. And even as we take a break, part of, again, why these ambassadors are here is to help you massage what the Spirit might be telling you. We don't have this divine revelation, and I will even say, right, the Word of God is very clear on this. It says in 1 Corinthians 2:9, what no eye has seen, what no ear has heard, and what no human mind has conceived, the things that God has prepared for those who love him. Here's what it continues to go on. It says in verse 10, the Spirit searches all things, even the deep things of God. For who knows a person's thought except their own spirit within them? So God is actually going to work in this exercise to make room for his Spirit to be heard within you. In the same way, no one knows the thoughts of God except the Spirit of God. What we have received is not the spirit of the world, but the Spirit of who is from God, so that we may understand what God has freely given to us, the Spirit of revelation. It's already been freely given to you. So I'm going to say what I heard you say, and then you get to decide. But I heard you say a world where we live with joy because we are connected and empowered to live free. What's your limiting belief?
I'm not valid.
I'm not valid. I'm not valid, incapable, and incompetent. Yet she has a vision that says a world where we live with joy because we are connected and empowered to live free. Complete stinking opposite. And for this long, this woman has been sold a bill of goods that not only are you not valid, which is why you struggle with shame. He's tried to shame you so much, so he's covered up your joy. And the reason he's covered up your joy is because he doesn't want you connected, because when you're connected, you will be empowered to live free. And he's sold you a bill of goods that said now you're incompetent and incapable and not valid, and so you've played small. And the Lord is here to tell you today that you get to live with joy, and your joy will be a byproduct of being connected and totally empowered to live free. He gave you freedom from the minute your feet hit this planet. And it's why you're here, is because the song is freedom. And so I declare today, you have freedom in one hand and you have joy in another. And what your world needs is not for you to partner with any more valid or not valid, is with freedom and with joy. Joy and freedom will be your weapon. Do not silence the joy. And I know the enemy has tried to rob you time and time again with your ideas, and it falls flat. And what he's trying to do is he wants you to see him, so you bring the joy and you bring fire like it's your weapon. It's your weapon. Do you hear me? Don't ask us to give you that. It's already in your hands. Give her a round of applause. Yes. I'll text you that. This is what a vision sounds like. It's going to connect dots. Right? Even if you read this, it says a world where we live with joy. That means if she's not living with joy, if joy is now a byproduct, it means, I'm not actually in my vision. Which means now what I have to do is step back and says, I need to connect because I'm empowered to live free. And when I'm totally connected to the Spirit and empowered what freedom is saying, then joy is going to be a byproduct. So I don't need to try to be joyful. I need to partner with what God has said. I need to connect with what God has said. And I need to be empowered to live free. That's my vision. And at some point over time, I'm going to do enough push-ups, and we're going to talk about this next. I'm going to believe in this enough, and I'm going to use these freedom moments to go, will I believe that I'm not valid? Or will I believe that I could be empowered? Will I believe that I'm incompetent and incapable? Or will I actually know that who the Spirit sets free, I am free indeed? Now I get to work out my freedom with every single moment. All the moments that I thought were designed to break me were actually there to make me stronger in my belief. I just didn't know that. I didn't know that until today. Until today. Until today. Who else wants a vision? We want visions, don't we? Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna go over just a smidge. Are you okay with just a little bit? 5-6 minutes? Which Nick knows that needs like 11, so like 8. Okay, we're gonna do another one because then what I wanna do is I actually want to do a little bit of a working break. Take a break, but I want you to actually lean in to identify what your vision could look like, but we're gonna bring up someone else to do an exercise. Who would like to go? Okay, come on up. And we're also going to bring this man up because you've been championing this message since you heard me speak a couple months ago. So thank you to you and Mimi for doing so much of the work to bring us in. We appreciate it. The least we could do is give you a vision. Okay, tell us your name, and then again, we'll kind of walk through the same process.
My name is Ben. And then
give us your experience. 20 seconds, tell us what your experience was.
My experience was I was in a wrestling match, a literal wrestling match.
Okay.
And this other wrestler, he had the reputation for wrestling dirty.
Okay.
Like he wouldn't play by the rules. And we were doing I can't remember what exactly the move was, but he came up and he hit my head and I bit through my lip. So you have to stop the match. And it was, I didn't know I was bleeding, and I had to step back, and I was bleeding, and I remember my dad saying, "Make him wrestle your match." And then when I hit my lip, I heard the whole crowd go, "Woo!" So I went out there, and when you wrestle, you have to be on one knee, and I picked him up, and I kind of pressed him, which you're not supposed to do. It's Greek wrestling. It's not WWE. You can't do that.
Fair. It's a big difference.
So I put him down and I pinned him, and everybody was like, and to me, in that moment, I felt like William Wallace or King Leonidas in 300. And that was a really positive experience for me because it was my mental strength and my physical strength and my spiritual strength in that moment that all kind of.
Great. So tell me then, what was the emotions that you felt?
Powerful. Bravery, courage, valor, honor.
Yeah, great words. He just went for it. Those are top words, by the way. Okay, great. Tell us, now if you think about those words, you're like, oh, I like this. I like to feel powerful and brave and courageous and valor or an honor. And the kid goes, why? What is happening? What is happening so I can make sure this happens again? Remember, now we're going to go a little bit deeper. What could he have thought was happening in the room?
What I thought was happening in the room.
Yeah, the interpretation of like, oh my gosh, what's making me feel brave and courageous and honored?
I can do this. I am strong. I am mighty. I am brave. I am a warrior. I can do whatever the world throws at me.
Mm-hmm. And because if he goes, okay, because why? Like why? What is this moment giving me that like, oh, I didn't feel yesterday, but like something is happening. What caused him to do that? You want me to ask it in a different way?
Yes, please.
Okay, great. So he's standing there and he's like, oh my gosh, I am living mighty. He's like, why? Because why? What did I do or what is happening that's like causing me to feel like I can live mighty in this moment?
me, my own, I was doing it through what was inside of me.
Okay, what was inside of you?
Strength, stamina, that mental ability, that spiritual ability, the powerful belief in myself that I can, and I am, and I can, and I can accomplish.
Where did that come from? Do you struggle with self-reliance, willpower?
Yes.
I'm not going to ask you. Mimi, does he struggle with self-reliance? Do you hear this? Big time. This is already where the enemy, again, is going to just take a little bit of a, he's not going to make this guy bad. He's just going to go, I'm going to get him to depend on himself till he wears himself out. What's your limiting belief?
That's true. I do. I say, I guess I have to do this all myself.
I have to do this all myself.
Right.
I have to do this all myself. Okay, so I'm going to ask you this again. Go deeper. I actually want you to close your eyes for a minute. I want you to go to the memory, and all of you might need to do this in the moment. And I want you to ask Jesus, where are you in the room? We actually need to get good at doing this. Jesus, where are you in the room?
Leaning on him 100% of the time.
100% of the time.
100%.
Who's doing it?
He is.
He is.
Yeah.
So tell me this again. You're living mighty because why?
Because he is in me and he gives me my strength and my power. He's my power source for bravery, courage, and valor.
Here's what I hear. A world where we live mighty because he is in us and works through us. A world where we live mighty because he is in us and he works through us, period. Versus the limiting belief that says, I have to do it all. I have to do it all in my own strength. That's not this world. It says a world where we live mighty because he works in us and through us. So you living mighty is not any more built in your own resolve or self-reliance or even sheer determination or willpower. It's that you actually surrender to realize he's working in me and through me. That will be sustainable. Here's what you guys have to understand about vision. It's sustainable. Your limiting belief won't be sustainable because a lot of times it shoots us into willpower and even push harder or do the things, and we can kind of get there, but we'll be worn out. Your limiting belief is not sustainable. For some of you, when you understand the difference between your limiting belief and your vision, it might change everything. You're literally like, I married someone in my limiting belief. I have friends built in my limiting belief. I started a business in my limiting belief. Do I just break up with all of it? It's not, that's complicated. You don't pay me enough to answer that question. Some of you are going to go, this changes nothing. It just changes how I do it. It changes my motivation. I married the right person. I'm in the right thing. I'm doing all the right things, but I'm doing it from the wrong place. And so in fact, now what I need to do is I need to connect with the Spirit, and I need to do everything in total reliance on him. And I'm going to be living mighty as a byproduct now that he works in and through me. And now you will be sustainable. You will run and not grow weary. You will walk and not grow faint. That needs to be on your mirror. Do you hear me?
Yes.
You will run and not grow weary. You will walk and not grow faint, because now you've shifted into a totally different connection with the Spirit that's working in and through you. So even though, yes, you are physically going to pick up and slam whatever the enemy's doing, or slam your to-do list or your dreams or your goals, it's going to be sustainable because you recognize that now your mighty is a byproduct of his mighty working in and through you. Do you see the difference? It will change nothing and everything all at the same time. And you will know, because as you're doing things, if you go, is this sustainable? And if the answer is no, then you're not coming from the right source. You've reconnected to the source that says, I need to do it all on my own. Unattach and reconnect to the source that says, I will live mighty because he's working in and through me. Make decisions based upon where you're going, not where you've been. You got that? Good work. Give him a round of applause. Okay, so here's what we're going to do at the break. We are actually going to massage it like that. You're going to take the words and you're going to land on the word that you go, man, that word. Right? Even like in Natalie, she said joy, and it was like, oh my gosh. Like there's going to be a little piece of you that goes, Oh my gosh, I would give everything. And then if your next inclination is to go, oh, don't say that out loud. Don't say that out loud. I literally didn't know how to spell uninhibitedly, by the way. My vision landed. It's a world that we create uninhibitedly because we live free. I didn't know how to spell the word. I was petrified of the word. I actually didn't tell people for years. I don't even think my husband knew it for 2 years. Why? Because it was also interconnected with my limiting belief. So there may be a moment when you land on that word, it all of a sudden it feels like the heavens open up, but then there's this immediate knee-jerk reaction that just wants to like cover it up or protect it. That's probably the word. Right? So what we're gonna do is we want you to lean in to go, okay, what was it that I interpreted from an emotional perspective in this moment? And then look up and go, what was happening that allowed me to feel this joy? Then close your eyes and go, Jesus, where are you in the room? And we'll put the statements together as we continue to march on in our journey. With that, Cammie, off to Mauer, give it up.
Hey there, dreamer. I just wanted to take a second and to say thank you. I wanted to thank you for your yes and your boldness to not only get started, but to stay the course. I recognize firsthand that dreaming can sometimes be an overwhelming and oftentimes lonely process. And so I just wanted to take a minute to acknowledge you and to say thank you, because if I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times, that the world needs your dreams. I also want to invite you to join our community, to actually engage with us, to continue this conversation. And you're going to see a QR code on your screen, and that is the best place to get started, where we will make sure that you get connected to a community who is also committed to unlocking the dreams that are on the inside of them, to breaking the limits that keep them bound, and are doing their part in bringing heaven to earth. So you no longer have to do this alone. We look forward to being a part of this journey with you. We thank you for your yes, and we cannot wait to see what God does in and through your life.